Philip asks, will this EP be up on Spotify as well? And this was on the video where I announced my Anchor EP, and as well as I just get this question all the time. It's like, will this be on Spotify? And kind of my take on Spotify is that if I put out something new, that's an album or an EP, something like that, I put it out on iTunes and all of the paid stuff first, and then maybe after like a month or so, I'll put it on Spotify, because I realize that, it should be, I would like to have it, wherever people are listening to it, and that really, Spotify definitely takes away huge on album sales from iTunes if it's on there at the same time. So I kind of find that I'll put it on iTunes, and then the people that want to get it, they can get it from iTunes first, and then eventually, it's just going to be on the internet somewhere anyway. So eventually, I'm just going to put it on Spotify. But you'll definitely make a lot more money on iTunes. And for me, just out of convenience, I get albums on iTunes. Like if it's something I'm really into, like when Kendrick Lamar's new album came out, I just got it immediately on iTunes, even though it was like $15, which seems a little bit weird, iTunes, that it's as much as like a physical thing would cost. I think it would make more sense for the like iTunes and other paid sites to just go down, and then people would be more inclined to buy it. But for me, that $15 just for the convenience to have it on my phone and not have to be connected to Wi-Fi is worth it for me. And I don't mind giving Kendrick $15. Well, who knows how much he actually gets, but I don't mind throwing money at Awesome Music. But so that's my take on it. If I have something new and I realize a lot of people, like a lot of my audience is younger and maybe doesn't even have credit cards or stuff, so they would have to ask their parents to buy it. And a lot of people are just using Spotify. I think eventually, it's pretty clear that, this is probably already the case, but even more so going soon, everyone's just going to listen to music streaming. Like people aren't going to buy it anyway. But if I currently have an opportunity to make a good chunk of money on a new album from putting it on iTunes, I'm definitely going to do it. And then I'll just put it on Spotify later. And so that's kind of how it works for me. Though I don't put like many. I used to put covers and like comedy stuff onto Spotify, and I've kind of stopped doing that too. I think if people are going to search for a name on Spotify, I'd rather it just be original work or stuff that isn't like strictly comedy. And then the comedy and covers are more made for YouTube anyway. Like I don't think people put on like people don't buy like the Slayer covers or stuff like that on iTunes. They don't really sell, and I don't think people really listen to them on Spotify anyway. They're more for the videos. But yeah, that's kind of my take on Spotify. I'm sure it'll get better maybe for how much they pay musicians going forward. It's now with Spotify, it's really not that much. Even with iTunes sales, at least for me on a business side point, for me, I'm hardly a musician from a business standpoint. Like maybe 10-20% of my income comes from selling songs online. And I think that's just gonna continue to go down and down. It's more about the videos for me. So, but yeah, anyway, that's my take on Spotify. Thanks for asking, and I'm gonna move on to the next question for the next video for whenever that comes out.